Welcome to our 2020 Summer ER Series, presented by BlackBox Stocks. Tonight we have a broken wing butterfly on Bank of America, verticals on healthcare, one wicked wide iron condor on Netflix, and a recession-proof play on dominoes.
All right, it's Wednesday, July 15th, heading into the tail end of the week one of the ER series that we have. We have 5 more names coming at you. We're going to break them down, tell you what we think about them real quick, as fast as possible. So ones we have are going to be Johnson & Johnson, Bank of America, Abbott Laboratories. We are going to be doing Domino's Pizza and Netflix. And Netflix is obviously the big one that everybody wants to hear about. Everybody knows to things could get crazy and move the market simply with that alone because of fame. All right, so let's jump into this real quick. The first one I want to start off with is Bank of America and just tell the story of banks so far, what happens. They've been absolutely killing trading, all right? So they've just been making bank off the whole Q2 when it comes to this. So my thinking is, why not Bank of America? Why aren't they going to kill it too? But the general theme that seems to be happening as well is we get that pop and then we get a slow fade, drift, and maybe a little grind higher as well. So I tried to think about, there's a couple strategies out there that you can do that can handle this as well. You have your verticals that can handle a little bit of a premium crush when it comes to that by collecting off of the selling side of that. You can do calendars in a sense, but when it comes to that, but I would suggest not. So what I came up with and what I thought fit best off of this pop, stall, or kind of fade back is I wanted to run into and put on a broken wing butterfly when it comes to this. So now a broken wing butterfly out the money that is hoping for a pop on this. In the meantime, when it comes to these types of plays, any sort of movement to the upside and a stall there is going to have your position red and then moving towards green the longer it fades, the longer it collects, because it is still a butterfly by nature. So the one that we came up with this for is the 24 fives. That's going to be buying that one. Then you're going to be selling 2 of the 25 fives. They're going to be collecting off that. And then you're going to be buying a further one out. This is the broken wing aspect of it. A 27 call. All for this week. It's going to run you about 20 cents, I believe. I think you can get in for about 18 currently for what we're running at midday, which Bank of America is trading at 24.52 currently. And so the problem with this though is if this overshoots your target of that 25.5 and it heads into that 27 area, you're going to take a little bit of further loss than a typical capped gain on a butterfly. So you're looking at probably about 100, but that would be a massive move by Bank of America. And something that hasn't been happening with Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citi, Wells Fargo, all these other names that haven't been able to hold on to their initial burst off what has been reported and a slower grind up. So that's what I think is great for this play. You're capped to the downside on that $20 loss. So if it does all of a sudden just is the outlier in financials this week, it's going to be not as bad. All right, next one is we're going to be running into Johnson & Johnson. The idea behind this is that the longer that the vaccine news keeps pumping, someone's got to have it. Someone's going to be piling into these names in hopes that they get it. Just name is out there. I can't even remember which one. There's so many new vaccine headline pumps that are going on. So we wanted to take a bullish stance. We wanted to just handle the 52.5 calls and then just selling the 155 calls for just a simple debit for $50 when it comes to that. We just think that's going to grind higher. If it does, you collect off that 155. If it doesn't do enough, you can take it off if it, once the crush happens, and then just run with the 152.5 if it really gets moving. So you can play it multiple ways, but it's definitely 100% a bullish stance when it comes to that. We looked at possibly running an iron condor on this and simply just collecting, whatever, making it about $3 wings on each side. But it just wasn't enough, and it just one side was always broken due to the difference in strikes that were out there. The other one that we have is Abbott Laboratories. The same thing. We're taking a bullish stance on healthcare, no matter what it is. And so we decided we're just going to do a 97.5 and then a 100 call for just another simple debit vert. It's going to be $60 to run. It would be a push towards all-time high, but you're selling that all-time high call at 100, saying that if it does break that or even attempt to break that, it's going to meet resistance there. So you might as well collect off that as well. And this is all for this week. So 100% a bullish stance, and if you think it's not going to be bullish, maybe flip that around and you collect the 60 off of that, but you'll be risking about what is it, 190 off of that, if it does just blow right past that. So you can just flip my stance if you're like, no, that's not bullish, that's bearish. So just flip my plays if you don't like it, and then you can do it that way. The other one was Netflix. This is the bread and butter. Everybody knows that the crush on this is always just significant. It never makes the moves that it expects, but it always typically just burns everybody. Calls, puts, everybody gets burned. So let's make this super wide. And I told everybody, at least make it $100 wide on your iron condors that are out there. So what we came up with is we did a 430, 435 for the put side on that. And remember, this is going to be a sell to open. You're collecting the credit on that. So you are going to be buying the 430. You're going to be selling the 435s to collecting off the 435s. And then you're going to be selling the 590s, collecting off that, and then buying the 595 for the cap side of things. That play, the spread is always going to be crazy on those. But mid-mark is running about between 75 and 90 on that. And I think that's fine. If you're going to skim something off the top of that play and just collect off it, why not just make a clean $100 off of that? The other one, dominoes, is the last one that we're going to have, that we're going to be ending off week one with. And we came to the same problem that premium's high. It's so tight on the outer strikes that running these condors is just kind of not fun, especially because you get wide spreads when it comes to it when you're trying to actually fill, and you could leg in and do it and maybe get a little bit more boost out of that, but just not enough. So what we did is we just went with what we think is too much, too far, won't happen type play, which is a 465, 470 call credit vert. So that means that we're selling the 465s and then we're buying the 470 for protection. The max downside on that is 450, simply because it's a $5 wide strike on there, and then you just minus the credit off of that, so 450 is what you're risking if it utterly just blows past that. And you know what they always say, pizza's recession proof. So we gave it some upside at least, and we didn't take it right there and try to collect as much as we wanted. We said, you know what, it could pop, but we don't think it's going to pop that far. So those are our plays for this week. We try to move it as fast as possible. And remember, if you want these real-time during market hours where you can jump into them when we post them and still modify them to your own liking, but just kind of give you a little spark of thought on how different types of play, or different ways to play this. And remember, you can always just uncap everything that we suggest. So if you want to run, a strangle on this, then you could just take off the uncapped side of the iron condor. If you wanted to, just sell the 465 on dominoes and just collect off that, you can do that. Just uncap everything if you like to play a little bit more risky. So we post that to Last Margin Call on Twitter. You can follow us. It does require a donation of literally any amount. We want it to be affordable for all, and there is no monthly fees, no subscriptions for you to follow. It's just a one-time thing. And you know what they always say, if you make money off of our plays and you like what we give you, tip your bartender.